Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, it gets misunderstood. It's not about being indifferent. Not at all. It's about being different, about actually choosing what's worth your attention and energy. So let's just jump right in and break down the 5 most important lessons from this incredible book. Okay, right out of the gate, Manson hits you with this pretty intense idea. The book's whole argument is that a happy life isn't a life with no problems. In fact, that's impossible. The goal isn't to somehow magically get rid of all your problems. No, the whole point is to choose the suffering you're willing to go through for something that actually means something to you. And right there, that's the whole secret, isn't it? So much of our stress and anxiety comes from caring way too much about things that just don't matter, like a rude comment online or getting mad about traffic. The real art, it's about taking all that energy you're wasting and pointing it towards problems you actually want to solve. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into our first big lesson, what Manson calls radical responsibility. It's this idea of taking total 100% ownership of your life, and, more importantly, your reactions to it. And here's the part that's a real game changer, the difference between fault and responsibility. Look, something terrible might happen to you, and it is absolutely not your fault. But, and this is a big but, how you decide to react to it from this moment forward, that is always your responsibility. See, fault is stuck in the past. It's about blame. Responsibility? That's all about what you do right now. And that idea of taking action, well, it flows right into lesson number 2, the art of failing. I mean, really think about this for a second. Why are we so scared to ask for a raise or to walk up to that person we find interesting? It's not just the fear of being told no, is it? It's what we think that no means about us. We're afraid it's going to prove all our worst fears right, that we're not smart enough, not attractive enough, you name it. We see failure as a final verdict on who we are. Okay, so if that fear is so baked into our identity, how in the world do you get over it? How do you start seeing failure as, well, just part of the process instead of the end of the road? Well, the solution is, it's actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You just change how you keep score. You change the rules of the game you're playing. And this is such a great example of that shift in thinking. Going from, I want to get rich, which is all about the outcome, to, I want to help my family financially. The first one is so fragile, right? Any little setback feels like a catastrophe. But the second one, that's about the process. That's your why. It gives you a real reason to, say, skip a big purchase and invest in someone you love instead. The metric itself is what's meaningful. And you can apply this logic to literally anything. Instead of, I want to look sexy, how about, I just want to see what my body is capable of? All of a sudden, that grueling workout isn't a punishment, it's the whole reason you're there. Or in dating, instead of, I need to find a partner, it's, I'm going to build an amazing social life. When you frame it like that, one person saying no doesn't even sting, because you're playing a much bigger, way more rewarding game. All right, lesson number 3 kind of builds on that. It's all about learning to actually thrive when things are uncertain, instead of constantly trying to fight the natural chaos of life. So let me ask you a really simple question that gets right to the heart of this. In a world where everything is always shifting and moving, what's the one and only thing you can be absolutely sure of? Yep, change. The moment you stop wrestling with that fact and just accept it, that's when things really start to open up for you. So the big takeaway here is to stop treating your life like it's some kind of puzzle with only one right answer. It's not. It's messy, it's confusing, and that's what makes it beautiful. The goal isn't to solve it. It's to become so flexible that you can actually enjoy the journey, especially when it takes a turn you didn't expect. All right, on to lesson 4. And this one feels like it goes against everything we're told today about keeping our options open. Manson's argument is that real freedom isn't found in having endless choices. It's found in deep commitment. Think about it. When you really, truly commit to something, whether it's a career, a relationship, a community, everything changes. All of a sudden, your problems have a deeper meaning, which makes all the small, annoying stuff just fade away. You're free from that constant nagging feeling of, what if? The whole paradox of choice. And you get to experience a depth in life that you just can't get when you're always hopping from one thing to the next. And that brings us to our 5th and final lesson. This is probably the deepest one, and it really connects all the dots by making us look at the one thing we spend our entire lives trying not to think about, our own death. Yeah, so the book pulls from this philosopher, Ernst Becker, who had this wild idea. He basically said that our deep-seated unconscious fear of ceasing to exist is what secretly drives almost everything we do. I mean, think about it. Why do we build huge companies or try to become famous or write books or even have kids? We're trying to create something that will last longer than we do. Becker called these our immortality projects. It's our way of trying to make sure some part of us, our ideas, our name, carries on. And here's the final, beautiful paradox of the whole book. This constant, frantic search to live forever, it's actually a massive source of stress. Real, genuine peace, Manson says, doesn't come from trying to escape death. It comes from accepting it. Once you truly get that your time here is limited, it forces you to figure out what you actually care about. It gives your life its meaning. So I want to leave you with this question. If you truly, deeply accepted that your time is finite, what would you immediately stop giving a damn about? And maybe more importantly, what is just one single metric of success in your life that you could change starting today to match what really matters to you?